What's up, guys? Been a while since I've been on. Is my mic coming out okay? Hopefully here, because I haven't streamed in quite some time. So let me know that the sound is good. Low key, miss hearing that song weekly. Hey, Fox Eye 2, you know what the smart thing is? I can play that song forever, because I know I see now on Twitch that there's issues with the music and all that stuff, but I got the rights to play it, and that's something that a lot of people out there right now are going through that growing pain of using other people's material, which eventually is going to come down to games as well. A lot of stuff's going to change after this COVID thing subsides. But, just giving everybody a heads up, we're not done with the show by no means. Melanie, myself, and Chris talk, on a fairly consistent basis. And, we're just taking a break, doing the COVID thing, I started doing a bunch of little hobbies, my new hobby. In fact, let's see, I could show you my one new hobby. Let me turn the white lights on and turn the camera. Which camera is on? Jesus Christ. There we go. As you see there, that's a bunch of books that I wrote over the years, strategy guides and stuff like that. So I started framing. I don't know why. It was just something, for years I wanted to frame all the stuff that I had. And I figured with COVID around, I can actually do it. So, I'm still working. I haven't had a day off since this whole thing started, which is a blessing for me. It sucks to see a lot of people that are out of work. It sucks to see a lot of the TOs that can't do events right now. Players doing the get-together thing. We all know how I feel with the esports crap, that I don't really support it. I never really have. I never really considered gaming in the aspect of just competing really that much of a job. I know I get slack from people that cry about that, saying, I'm jealous, I'm this, and that. Gaming as a whole is a small time frame that you have to capitalize and make some money. Somebody like Sonic Fox fell into that niche, into that perfect opportunity. He came in as a young kid, now he's in his 20s. He was making good money, but now nobody's making money. What's up, Redline? We're not gone. One of the, I seen a couple of people tweet, and I can't believe you stopped doing the show. It's not that we stopped doing the show. We're all focusing on our real life stuff. I'll probably never stop doing this show until I'm around 75. As long as there's stuff out there that's fucked up. And exactly, Illuminati, JOB is the best sponsor you can get. One of the things that I want to see, as the COVID stuff starts subsiding, and no, I'm not drinking booze these days. Not to say I don't, but I'm drinking hot apple cider. One of the things that I want to see how it transpires once COVID starts to subside is, how are these sponsors who have spent the year the year basically with players locked into a contract, paying them to sit at home? And how is that going to affect the following year when stuff starts to pick up again, and these sponsors are looking at these players that they're sponsoring and saying, we've paid these players to basically sit on their asses and do nothing. And I feel a lot of these sponsors are going to look at that and say they wasted a lot of money. But you want to know something, Captain Nemo? Content creation doesn't benefit sponsors. I know, some people would think like, teams like UYU who have a lot of content creators, or Equinox has a lot of content creators, it really doesn't benefit them in the aspect. What's up, Foxy? It's not profitable for the sponsors, though. The sponsors aren't going to make money off of that, especially, you look at sponsors like UYU who are really ingrained into the Tekken scene. It doesn't benefit them to pay out all this money to sponsors. How is it more profitable for the sponsor? How does UYU make money off of their players streaming? Correct. You are right in that aspect. They're saving money in hotels, flights, and registrations. But, none of these sponsors went into business to save money that way. And what I see happening now is a lot of these sponsors are going to have to reevaluate, A, the money that they shell out, B, the amount of people they do sponsor. Because I've noticed now a lot of these teams are out there, they make a player base where they're competitive players, and then they make a streaming base, which most of these players are supported by these sponsors, are just streaming content. Yes, they're going out to events, when events were happening, but their focus is more on streaming content. So, it's a company like UYU, who is a clothing line per se, as well as a sponsor. While these players are sponsoring, wearing the gear, I don't know what their sales numbers are. I really don't see a lot of these people running out buying UYU gear, which, by the way, I gotta say, UYU gear is pretty snazzy. I ain't gonna lie. I just think the give and take for what they're shelling out to what they're getting isn't really balancing out. Are there a tech company? No, they're more of Redline. They're more of a clothing line. They specifically, or more aptly, they're ingrained more in the Tekken scene. I know they did sponsor one player in the MK scene and a couple of Street Fighter players, but their main focus is on the Tekken scene. And as far as tech company, they're not a tech company. Their background, comes from app development. Jin Hee, who is, I guess, the end all of the bosses, and then her son Drew is like the manager of the team that runs things on the team side. But I listened to an interview about her, and she did an interview. I mean, she's a smart cookie. Referring back to, like, say, Rick Fox, who, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, I think that whole racism thing and all of that, I think that Indian guy and him are probably sitting in a bar right now laughing, saying that they dodged a bullet. Again, they went out and tried to be the New York Yankees, get all the top players, pay those top prices, and they did not see a profit. And by not seeing a profit, his accountant probably said, "Hey, yo, you're bleeding money here. You need to make it stop." And i.e. the team folded and things went its own, every players went their own way. But, I don't think, the Rick Fox thing, from what I gathered, was more of a father who, had gotten distant from his son. I know his son was living in Barbados, and, this was a way to bring them close together, and I think it just evolved into Echo Fox, and he kind of went with it. But as time went on, I'm sure he looked at it and said, what exactly am I getting for paying for players to go win money, and I make nothing out of it, I did hook up this. Watch the Armory. Thank you for the raid. Also, guys, you got to understand, like, you know, since it's been a while, and I never really catered with the stream elements and all that stuff. I'm gonna start bringing some content back on the norm. Gonna start streaming some games. You know, I got myself a nicer little setup that I put together here, and I'm gonna try to stream some classic stuff because, to be honest, I'm not these guys that make excuses with blue lights on the screen, or, you know, this character needs to be nerfed and this character needs the buff. I suck at MK11. I can't deny it. My old man reactions. I don't want to hear these players say, "Oh, well, you know, if you put in the work, you'll get better." Nah, you know what? Listen, once you pass 50 years old, let me tell you something. You can practice 100 hours, you're not catching up to these young guys. And, you know, that's also where I think COVID right now is putting a lot of focus on certain people in the FGC's lives, and they're starting to evaluate gaming versus the IRL. You know, and I know a lot of people feel that, you know, this is a viable career. You know, when in my age, when somebody says a career, that's something you're going to do for the next 20, 25 years. I could do the Cantaloupe games, you know, but, you know, it's something that you would do for the next 20, 25 years. That's not viable. You know, I mean, Sonic Fox has got to be about, what, 20... I mean, I met him when he was 12. He's got to be about 20, 25 years old now, I think. He's got another 10 years, so he'll be able to probably get that 20 year. But I don't know, you know, first of all, right now he's sitting not making nothing off of competing, per se. But you know, when I say nothing, he's making money, but he's not making those $250,000 and $150,000 pots, you know. Right now it's kind of stagnant. As far as offline goes, I seen people today, somebody had asked a question on Twitter that if the events come back, are you willing to pay more money? And do you think it's viable for the TOs to charge more money? The only answer for that can be yes. They're going to have no choice. They've just taken, and I don't care if it's Jeff Bailey, Ricky Combo Breaker, Big E, Larry, KIT, Defend the North. They all took a huge hit because of this. And personally, I wish Brandon Alexander the best of luck with the KI Cup, but I think he's being very optimistic that December of 2021 is going to be viable for these guys to actually bring it back. Even if the events do come back, all these events that are in hotels are not going to allow 3,000 people to gather in their venues. Those days are gone for a while. So right there is going to tell you that a lot of these hotels will probably wind up capping how many people can be in the venue. You know, whether, you know, it's government mandated or city ordinance mandated. You know, they're not going to allow 3,000 people to show up to play video games. You know, TOs are going to have to probably have nurses on staff to take your temperature. We're probably going to be showing vaccination cards, which, you know, in my guess by December, not everybody's going to be vaccinated. There's going to have to be plexiglass between people, basically to separate them for that 6 foot distance. There's going to have to be people that clean these setups after almost every match. It's going to be very hard. What's up, Ghost of Gutex Pass? I'm doing well. I'm not going to lie, 2020's been good to me. I mean, I gotten a little bit more fatter, but I'm actually kind of content with the way things are going. But, you know, again, it's like there's a lot of issues that are going to come up that TOs are going to have to deal with. And it's gonna, the money, again, I know a lot of people in the scene like to talk to esports, and the grassroots people like to say growing the community, but at the end of the day, every TO, I don't care who you are, to them this is a business, not just a fun way to pass time. And with that, it's going to be hard because a lot of people are very vested in their brand. I look at Rick with Combo Breaker. Man, I truly feel for the guy because, him getting hit the way he got hit, the Pheasant Run Club, whatever it's called, the Pheasant Run place, basically screwing him over, closing down, probably gave him a, no, we're not closing down, we're just renovating. And then, you find out a couple of weeks or a month or so later that, we're dead ass, we let everybody go, we're done, we're out of here. Which was a great venue. I never got to go to it, but, I've not heard one bad word about any of his events. So that had to have hurt him, and I know, he bum rushed to try and get another venue fast, and he got the best deal he could, and then bang, COVID. And that, because I know his event was supposed to be in May, and he probably signed the contract as quick as he could for the best deal he could get as fast as he could, and then boom, now he's got nothing, and he's probably signed into the contract. And these hotels are ruthless. Make no mistake about it. They don't care. They'll tell you, no. Bring your event. You're paying for it. I didn't even know that. I guess the Pheasant Run. I don't know what the Pheasant Run was. Redline. To me, it kind of, the way it's the name of it and the pictures that I saw of it kind of reminded me of the place where fucking Patrick Swayze was doing his Dirty Dancing type, like summer camp thing for families or something like that. So I'll take your word about the golf girls. And stop trying the nostalgia. You can't nostalgia your way through esports. It's definitely, it was a big ass resort that had a golf course. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. So it was basically a resort to hang out. COVID obviously. Let me tell you, this guy got out before COVID kicked in. So to be honest, he probably fucking dodged a huge bullet. Because if he tried to stay open and had people take their reservations and book for the summer, and then the COVID came out, and now you got to start refunding people. Nobody wants to give money back ever. But so pretty much right now I don't see the scene coming back. Honestly, I want to say mid-2022. Why didn't I Shawshank Redemption rain dance when McRib was exposed for the weirdo FGC stuff, and the FGC was burning, and I expected you to be pissing on the remains. I'll be honest why I didn't. I couldn't do a show because I was too giddy, relishing in the fact that, I've always said on this show, karma's a motherfucker. I've always tried to tell people, don't be a liar because it will come back to get you, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually. But karma has forever to get you. And forever is a long time. He definitely got what he deserved. It's like he played the fence on the cancel culture thing, which, by the way, I do not support clearly. rode the fence on the cancel culture thing with certain people. And to me, and I'm going to put this out there, I'm not going to mention names. There's still a lot more dirt out there. There's still so much more dirt out there. Not Wizard, top players. There's stuff just as bad as the Wizard stuff. But people need to keep in mind, people inside the companies of the games that you worship will cover for these people. The friends of these people will cover for these people. People will turn a blind eye to them. I see people in the scene, and I'm just going to say it like this, that, had themselves put in a situation where they had to lie and then disappear for a while. And, you know what? You know what it is, Gutex Past? Right now, with COVID going on and everything going on, and there's also a lot of variables to putting people on blast. It's one thing to put people on blast. It's another thing to put people on blast who are young and stupid versus, being outright malicious motherfuckers, parents. There's a lot of stuff out there that's sitting on the cusp. I see the little infighting that was going on with Punk and 801 Gustavo. The ratio of effort put towards covering shit up in the FGC versus changing it is forever disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. Watch the Armory. It's bad. What's up, Akasha? It's bad in the sense that I'm just gonna say it this way. I know people have paid people thousands of dollars to pay for silence from victims on the down low. And it's not one person. There's a bunch of people in the FGC. They may be broke, but when it comes to buying silence, people seem to find money very fast. And that's something that every time I've ever put something out there and put a name to the quote unquote crime, the victims gave me the okay. But now that now that I've gotten to certain victims have been paid off, I don't know how to react to it. I don't want to blow up a victim spot. I don't want to put a victim on blast at the same time I'm putting a perpetrator on blast. It's gone, to a point where I don't want to expose the victim just to get the perpetrator, and the victim doesn't want to be known. And that's one of the things that it's a hard line to ride, and I ride it well, I guess. But people like I'll give you my opinion, and again, this is opinion based. I've gone after Chris Bond. I've gone after Chris Bond. I've gone after Guilty. I talk to them still. They're in better positions in life. They realize, we made some stupid mistakes. It's not up to me to judge them. It's not up to me to condemn them. I don't even know if it's up to the FGC to condemn them. People that have been victims, it's their job. And I see a lot of people, again, talking about the code of conduct crap. This is something that I had mentioned for years about a code of conduct. Nothing extreme. No safe spaces. No cuddle kittens. No petting puppies. No fucking quiet rooms. None of that weird stuff that the newer generation of the youth want. It's a very simple thing. You know, I don't want to, a room for Black Lives Matter and a room for racist and a room for fucking transgender people and LGBT people to have their own room. I just want people to be able to get along. Nah, I can't ghost. I can't. Not. I don't go after the victims. I don't go after the victims. And if the victims don't give me that permission, I can't move forward with anything. Code of conduct will never work, Tagilo. Smash Community is a perfect example of why it don't work. It's many folds. I had a perfect legend, going back, I think it was like in June, July of this year. Some dude from Pittsburgh, I forgot, Bodied or something like that. Some dude that's a lawyer out of Pittsburgh or something, or an author, had put a group together and he was trying to put a code of conduct together. And of course, PL hit me up and invited me to the Discord. And said, they're trying to finally do one of the things you said. You should listen in. And I did. I listened in. I tried to give it a fair shot. But then I had seen the comments. The comments are what started to turn my stomach. Well, we need to make TOs have safe space rooms and pet and party. All the things that I say, look. Any of the things that you're asking for, if they can't be applied to the real world and expected, don't expect them in the FGC, because the FGC is the real world. I see a lot of people saying, well, the FGC is my safe space. It shouldn't be your safe space, because you can't control everything around you. See right here behind me? This is my safe space. Ain't nobody in this fucking house but me. I do what I want to do. If I want to walk around with my balls hanging out, this is my safe space to do it. But once I step out that door, this is where my safe space stays. Now, don't get me wrong, because, a lot of these people will say, James MK, he's just trying to gun for us, and he's mean, and he's this. I'm just telling you the way the world works. Outside of your house, your safe space is over. I don't, I'm not against trans people, going back to the NRS scene, for example, Stephanie Brownback, for years Stephanie thought I was against her, and I kind of was trying to educate her about the path she was taking with working for the NRS company versus the trying to still remain part of the FGC. Of course, a lot of people don't like the way I will convey or show the message of you're fucking up. So it kind of, I don't know if she still thinks I was against her, but I know for a long time she felt like I was out to sabotage her or something. And I basically had told her numerous times, you're in a scene and you're in a position where you know things about games that people that are your so-called friends want to know. And when you tell them you can't tell them something, you're not only going to lose that friendship, you're going to become an enemy. And I said, that you have to separate yourself from the FGC. You got to become a game developer. You got to work in that environment, and you got to avoid getting sucked into that trap. So, going to other people in the scene, A lot of people think, oh, you hate Alex Jet Bailey. I'll tell you this. The only person I truly dislike in the FGC, and I'm sorry, for those that might like him, is Keats. I found Keats to be a sniveling coward who, when Dark Natus and I were trying to get this show off the ground back in 2012, him and Ski Sonic were doing their Wake Up SRK show, and Natus would hit him up and say, hey, listen, we got Cary Tagawa on, we got John Turk on, can you guys show us some love on SRK? He would go and send us messages, and I never got to see them until Natus stepped away, and I actually started looking at the On Blast Show email. And I think Natus tried to hide them but forgot to delete them, basically saying we were competing with their show, they wouldn't support us. So this is before the, episode 49's On Blasting and the Homeboy Tyson stuff. This was just us bringing on good guests. So when I had seen that years later, it just infuriated me that much more. That his arrogance, guys like him do not know game development better than the average person. They're arrogant, they're condescending. If you don't follow their ways. Keats was the white dude with the glasses. Ski Sonic was the Jamaican looking dude with the dreads. Well, they both got hair, I think. But, again, it was like, it aggravated me because for years I had dumped money into the NRS scene before NRS ever even gave a fucking dollar. I was putting thousands of dollars into pots in tournaments all over the place, including online. I don't know what happened to Ski Sonic, to be honest. And again, I don't wish him ill. He was kind of a casualty of the Wake Up SRK OBS wars, I guess. Since everybody's saying I'm like Ben Kenobi now. I haven't cut my hair, so I look like a fucking... I still got the fucking wrinkles. I'm still fucking wrinkling out like an old motherfucker. Yes, Adam Redline. Adam Hart. And I don't even wish him ill will. I just, sometimes in life you get a person I don't want to be around you. That's it. If I'm in a room and you're in a room, I'll go into the other room. Alright, so Gutek's past loves to fucking probe. Yeah, that whole Cinepie thing. And seeing the kid be looking like something out of the fucking Lord of the Rings. And seeing her, it was bad all around on her part. I'm surprised, criminal charges weren't brought up. I was told, and again, I didn't really go after that much because, I was just occupied with everything else. But, their spot since they thought the FGC revolution. Yeah, the revolution that never came, Redline. And I told people for years, me and Triforce would argue back and forth. Yes, criminal charges on a woman, absolutely. I mean, based Pope 5'10", let's be real here. She was, whatever, fucking 20s, and this kid was like 15. I don't even know if he was that old. I seen the guy. He looked like a one of those shrunken voodoo head dolls, like 10 years. He looked fucking like 14. Makes it even worse. I don't care if it's a guy to girl, guy to guy, girl to guy, girl to girl. A kid's a kid. He looked less than 12. I thought the kid was like 9. I seen him on mic one time, and when I found out that was the kid, I was like, what the fuck? And I don't think anything ever happened. I mean, I don't know. Is she out of the community? Has people heard from her? I have no idea. But, you know, after exposing a lot of this stuff and having a lot of women come up to me, yeah, she disappeared. She did the smart thing. You know, having a lot of people come up to me and asking me, you know, hey, you know, you gonna put this out there, put this out there. I also had a lot of people coming up to me asking me, you know, their opinion. This happened to me, you know, and it was one of the reasons Chris and I had gotten a lot of stories, Melanie as well, of, you know, people saying, you know, in confidence, this person touched me. So a lot of people in this scene will now see me when this scene comes back, and they're going to give me the, hey, James, I love the show. And it's just going to be a, get the fuck away from me. No, they don't actually redline. It's you know, I don't know. I had seen some posts of guys in the Smash scene, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm picking on Smash. I'm not. But guys, I've seen videos over the last couple of days of people in the Smash scene talking as if there's some kind of Rico Suaves. And they would show videos of themselves. And I'm going, man, motherfucker, I would have robbed you in the arcade every day. You know, every day I see some, and even, don't get me wrong, some of these FGC guys cross lines too. I see guys, you know, especially of late in the NRS scene. These guys will turn around and they will say, I fucked your mother, you're a piece of shit, blah, 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 whatever they throw out. And then when you snap back at them going, I'm going to fuck you up, their answer is baffling. First, attend me in a money match. And I'm going, motherfucker, you just said you fucked my mother. Now you think I'm going to money match you? I want to fuck you up for real. You know? Now, older me is a little bit more lackadaisical. I'm talking younger me. Man, the keyboard would not separate. I got on a flight. All right? True story. You know, I'm going to do a shout out to him, by the way. Mike Watson of Super Arcade. We were actually talking about possibly doing a show together, him and I, just talking about old stories. So I'm going to tell you an old story. So years ago, years and years, in my 20s, you know, during the IRC wars, as I call them, you know, I kind of relate everything to like the Star Wars type saga. So during the IRC wars, equivalent to the Clone Wars, somebody had talked a lot of shit to me, a lot on IRC. So it so happened to be that I had a book deal that I was working on in Indiana. So it just so happened to be with him talking all this shit, and he was one of those guys that hung out at diversions. And he, you know, whatever he said, he could have said, I fucked your mother, I'm better at the game, you're a piece of shit, you're a nobody. And I went on the keyboard and I said, I'm coming to your arcade tomorrow to fuck you up. And instead of flying to Indiana, I flew to Chicago. And I showed up at his arcade. And I walked in the door and he was in there selling FAQs nonetheless. And I tapped him on the shoulder. And I said, yo, I told you I was coming. And he's like, oh, what, you want to buy one of the FAQs? I'm like, nah, motherfucker, I told you I was coming. Yo, this dude turned white like fucking, like death was on him. And Best Boy Junior. Technically, yes, but kind of no. Because Indianapolis to Chicago, I think, was a 4-hour drive. So instead of flying to Indiana to do the book, I flew to Chicago, rented a car, and drove up there. So, of course, at that moment, for me, it wasn't about beating him up. It was the fact that he said to me, holy shit, you actually flew out here to fucking fight? You New York motherfuckers are crazy. And I liked that. And then after that, he apologized. Everything was cool. We never had words again like that. It could have gone a different way. It could have definitely gone a different way. And now I see the way the FGC is, and they'll talk out of the side of their neck and say some of the most fucked up things. And they end it with money matching. And I'm going, who in this scene started this trend? Because, it usually starts with one person. Who in this scene started this trend that you could talk all this crazy shit about somebody and think a money match is going to make all the quote-unquote beef go away? Even when I went after PL back in the day with the bounties and all that, I never had an issue with PL. I was trying to bring some hype to the scene, and me and PL have talked about it over the years, and he was the top dog, and I went after the top dog, just to try and spice it up. It wasn't personal. I think in the beginning he took it personal, and then as time went on, he kind of said, fuck it, shit happens. But it wasn't a personal vendetta against him. It was just to bring hype to the scene, just like when we had VSM versus Team 16-Bit, and I did the Cantaloupe videos. That wasn't to hurt their feelings. It wasn't to threaten them. It was just to bring hype. Something changed. Something changed between then and now. And it's like the players of today's version of bringing hype, Captain Nemo, that's actually a possibility, because that was legitimately bad blood, and it I think it kind of fostered that. Well, let's bring it to the level that we want to fight and have security guys pretend that they're separating us. But it definitely started around that era, I think. And I look at it and I go, man, listen, and again, I see people in the scene talk about, well, this person in the arcade would be good, and this guy. A lot of these kids in the FGC currently wouldn't even be able to hang out in the arcade. We wouldn't let you. With the way you guys, the way you guys act, you would have gotten the shit beat out of you. Sadly, that was our mentality. I could tell you right now, I remember another side story. I was never really good or anything exceptional in Killer Instinct in the arcade. And there was these two young kids, like rich white kids, both him and his brother were their early teens, and their dad used to bring them into the fucking arcade. And when I say like white kids, I didn't grow up poor. I grew up with both my parents. I did the quote-unquote ghetto stuff because I liked it, but I grew up typically in the burbs. I'm talking two young white kids that, father was probably some fucking day trader making millions of dollars back then. And wound up, they were beating me in KI. And they gave me this smile, like for a lot of people back then, because of my reputation with Mortal Kombat, beating me was like like killing the dragon for a lot of people. And I was never untouchable in games, especially games that I didn't really vibe with. And this kid gave me a look. And, you know, I don't know, for you guys that know who Summoning is, who he does a lot of streaming of KI stuff, he looked at me when they looked at me, and I looked at their father, and I said, you got to go. And he goes, what? I said, you got to go because I'm going to beat you up because of what your kids said. You know, because their kids did like a na-na-na-na-na-na. I think the father took the kids and never came back. You know, true story. You know, another one, you know, L.I. Joe came to our arcade. You know, his pop, you know, L.I. Joe at that time was a young kid. One of the players that were there, you know, one of my crew, we'll call him, was playing, and you know, Joe came up, and you know, he had gotten like, you know, a couple of win streak going, playing against other people. Then we showed up, so our friend goes to play him, and he might have had he could have had a fucking 10 win, 100 win streak, and Nitton's in the back talking to his dad, and the guy steps up to the machine, puts his hand on the top of the machine, shuts it off, puts it back on, so the kid's win streak gets zeroed out. Proceeds to put money in for him and for Joe. And Joe's father saw that and went, what the fuck was that? And took him out and said he's never coming back to this arcade again. And true story, I don't think he ever came back to our Westbury Nathans. You know, so we were a different breed of asshole. You know, we definitely were. But, I mean, we were assholes like there are in the scene now, nonetheless. But something about now, I don't know if it's because I'm older, but I look at like some of the things that players say, and I have all the snazzy remarks. There was a guy that Punk, before 801 Gustavo, there was a guy that Punk was, he was a Californian Asian dude, and he was going after this guy, talking about, he had beat him the previous year. I don't know what his name, I can't remember his fucking name. Somebody in the chat might remember it. And then Punk started attacking him on Twitter. And it went from talking about the game to who has more money in your bank account, and then it went back to, you know, play me in a money match. And it was, this guy apparently beat him either the previous year or something. So I guess, you know, I guess maybe Punk saw the video of it and it just re-agitated the sort, which I'm fine with. But, you know, then he started getting like on that, like the promoter from Rocky V, when he was trying to get Tommy Morrison to fight Rocky, you know, and he was fucking jabbing and trying to get this player to fight him, and he never took the bait. I mean, he was insulting him, saying, you know, I got more money than you, my bank account. You know, you probably live in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment. You know, but man, all I could think about when that happened, you know, while that was going on, and this Asian dude was pretty, you know, mellow about it. And you know what? Let me see if I can find that. Maybe I can. Yeah, let me see if I can find that. I haven't. Look, let me see if I can find even Punk. I don't follow him. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. As I say that, he bought a house the past week. So congrats to him for that. Um, Now he gets to experience what paying real bills is like. I don't know. I haven't spoke to Triforce, So he went after this dude. House. I'm trying to think of what a keyword would be that was said during that. That's what we can. That's probably. Let's see. And he's young. He's a young kid. Where is this dude? I should do a Call of Duty stream. That's 2017. He might have deleted it. But, for me during that time, I was like, yo, this guy's, that was holding his. When you start crying on stage about second place finish, that shows how much of a kid you are. Stay in that place. And yes, I mean, I hope he moved his mom, because I know his mom, he's kind of got that Fresh Prince story going on. Hope you bought a house and picked the woman up that brought you into this world at the same time. Just saying, that's my opinion. And that's probably something I would have went after him with when he started flexing about his bank accounts. It's like, yeah, but you left your mom in the hood. And that's something that, you could buy the houses. All of that's temporary. And at 22 years old, with no events going on and no money really coming in, buying a house, hey, listen, I wish him the best with it, but now you got to make the payments. And those payments aren't, those aren't getting your phone turned off and going over to Metro PCS instead of paying your AT&T phone bill. The last 10 years, 2011 or 2012 MK9, for the fact that, my homie who always loves to push back at me, Foxy Grandpa and Mustard and Ketchup, one of the most memorable things for me was, for years, the MK US side kind of shit on the European players. And they came all the way here to prove themselves. And they did. They lost the exhibition, but they did well in overall tournament. But they fell short in the exhibition. But they showed that they belong. And that they are very competitive, and they're great players. Before that, literally, I won't say all, I could pretty much say all of Europe wasn't even on the map. So seeing, players that year, like Madsen coming from Germany, I helped get him here for MLG the first year. And it was like, these guys, a lot of the people in the NRS in the NRS scene have very short memories. I've always tried to help guys, and then when I seen shit going too awry, I just had to walk away. NRS started putting in tens of thousands. I was putting in 2,000-3,000, 1,000 here, 2,000 here. I couldn't compete with that. I'm not going to put in $1,000 when NRS put 10,000 in. It's a waste of my money. NRS finally stepped up and started to put money in, so I just kind of stepped away. But I would say that 2012 Evo,
You know, I love all the Big E's events, not going to lie. I never, and it's sad because I love Larry and I love his events, but I've never gone to a final round. You know, it came up in April, which was kind of hard for me. You know, it was just a hard trip for me to make because of work. What other events? I love the MLG events. You know, I love the MLG. What did they call them? They called them, when the winners won, they flew them out to New York. You know, it was cool hanging out with all the guys. It was cool. You know, it sucked. Another true story. I'm going to confess to you guys. First time exclusive. So when I had put the bounty on PL for MLG, you know, at that time Triforce was with PL and they were EMP, and we were, you know, pushing this whole WWE story. Yeah, I noticed Redline, you know, on a side note, the American fetishize about Japanese depending on the game. Yes, exactly. But you know, we talked out, me and Triforce had worked out the details and everything. And it was messed up because I had told all the VSM players at the time during MK9. So you had Maxter, CD Jr., Rio. You had the top fucking players in MK9 at that time, all from New York. And I had told them all, listen, I'm going to keep it 100% with you. If one of you guys beat PL, you're getting nothing. I ain't giving my money away just so some fucking guy that I play with normally can fucking collect the money. And they all were like, okay, yeah, we understand. Would it be my luck, out of all the New Yorkers that were there, Kerbalicious, who was an online warrior at the time, the one New Yorker that was there that had nothing to do with VSM, who lived up in bumblefuck Rochester, would be the one to get it. Now, I forgot how much it was. I think it was like $3,000. And I had only had like 1,200, actually like 1,200, 1,500 of the cash on me. Because I figured, and to be honest, I figured either PL would beat everybody or one of the VSM New York guys would have beat him. And lo and behold, now I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pay this out. Unlike other people, I never welch on my shit. And, you know, I went up to Kerbo's mom, because he was young at the time. And I had added, I think, $250 if you babied him, and he babied him too. So, you know, I go up to the mom, and I'm like, hey, listen, here's $1,500 right off the bat. I said, I got to run to the bank, to the ATM, and pop out the other $1,500. And she says, no. She goes, because he's going to New York, down to the city, why don't you save it until he gets there, which was going to happen in like a couple of weeks after. So I was kind of relieved, because I don't think I could have took out $1,500 and fucking on an ATM back then. So, you know, when he came down, I gave him the money, and I was like, fuck, you know. I was betting on, I was basically playing Pete Rose, and I was betting on all my players to win, and they didn't do the job. You know, this random Kerbalicious kid comes in and fucking collects the money. But you know what? In hindsight, looking at it now, it was actually pretty fucking cool. It was cool to see that, you know, that's something in the MK community. Because again, I don't like this NRS community line, because it's not the NRS community. You know, Marvel is one game, Street Fighter is another. You don't see Street Fighter players saying they're part of the Capcom community. They're part of the Street Fighter community. Mortal Kombat players are part of the Mortal Kombat scene. Marvel players are part of the Marvel scene. This whole washing things and mixing them together shit, I never understood that. But, you know, it's like, at this point, I just let it go. You know, I let it go. I took my loss, but I thought that was a great memory. True story. So one of the first episodes of OBS there was these two players, Bass and Sands, in the MK scene, who were like banned from like Test Your Might, which was a site that everybody used at the time. And they were fucked up, and they would say some fucked up stuff to a lot of the TOs, streamers, to a lot of people. They were basically banned into the nether realm. And I thought, a good move for the show, because there was another show at the time that was going to bring them on. And this story is actually how Dark Natus and myself created this show. So the show was called The Wule Show, which was a guy by the name of Chris and Troy, and they were gonna bring these guys on their show, The Wule Show. So Test Your Might hits them up and says, if you bring them on the show, we're gonna boycott your show. And I thought, like, who the fuck are you? You're a fucking website. You're a fan site. You're not a backbone of the community. You're not a pillar. You're a fucking fan site. Who are you to tell these two guys who they can and can't put on their show? And, Natus had heard me, and, he was like, yeah, that's fucked up. And I said, you know what, we should do a show. You and me, let's do a show. And because the Wule Show did back down because they didn't want to, get boycotted by the big bad TYM. So we basically put them on the show. And, Phil 995 came on the show. We talked to him. Now, the whole point of bringing them onto the show wasn't to rip open any old wounds or Band-Aids or anything like that. It was truly to garner a peace deal. I wanted to be the Henry Kissinger between Palestine and Israel. And it didn't work at first. In fact, it kind of backfired. So Phil 995 stopped VSM in his response to basically saying, it's your fault VSM stopped. And it did hurt. It did hurt. And, over the years, we actually started re-talking again, and we kind of realized how stupid it was on both parts. And but for the first year anniversary, I had brought Bass and Sands back, and Phil came on, and they talked, and they hashed out the details. They actually became civil with one another. And I said, you know what? It may have taken a year, but my mission was accomplished. I brought peace between these guys. Now, not all people, ended peacefully. Some of them just ended. But it felt good to do that, and that's really what the premise of the show has always been, is to resolve issues. People will say, oh, all you do is and any black person in the FGC that will hear this should really think about what they say when they talk bad about the show. I've heard all you bring on is hood people to curse. All you bring is gangster people like Korn, and people shit talk. And, the responses to this show have been a very, you're the fire that makes things bad. And it was like, no, I'm letting people, listen, whatever your upbringing is, if you grew up in the hood of Detroit, or if you grew up in, the white suburbs of Beverly Hills, whether you're one of the non-inclusive top players or top streamers or commentators or lawyers that pretend that they care about your opinion, they name one of these shows out there that's been out there since we've been out that said, hey, you know what? Redline 313, ain't nobody heard of you. Why would I let you on the show? Why? Because you want to come on. That's it. You have an opinion, and you should be able to share it. Uh-oh, what do we got? 30% overall added. Oh, I don't know what that is. But I always wanted people to be able to share their opinions. That's how you gauge the community, not by talking to the top players. The top players are the arrogant ones. They're the guys that talk about frame data and nerfs and buffs and this and that. Shut the fuck up. You know what? And I've told this to many of these players. I had a conversation the other night with guys, and I go, if you're truly a competitor, if you're really a competitor, you will never ask a developer to change something to benefit you. A true competitor will find a way to stop whatever it is that they feel they can't stop. If you're a character loyalist, you're not an esports player. Because if you're going to ask for those nerfs and buffs and all that other shit, and you're going to look at character A and say, well, they're better, well, then why aren't you paying that character? If you're such a good player, play that, oh, well, I only like this character. Then that's shame on you. Developers really don't ask. At least the NRS ones. Listen, NRS, is content with just making the game and putting out DLC. The least complaining, the better. I mean, now I can understand, okay, the whole 150 millisecond ping thing, Wi-Fi, I can understand those types of gripes. But once you start saying, there's a difference between developers asking for things for your own direct benefit. Exactly, Nitty. It's these guys, okay, listen, first of all, I hate half the lingo you guys work. These stands and incels and all the other weird shit that you guys use. I don't know what any of that crap means. I don't care. But, people asking for a character is one thing. The threatening thing, yeah, that's kind of weird. I've never really understood that one. I know it's a touchy subject, but not as much as what? Let me tell you something. If VXG came back, I would go again. The biggest problem of VXG was over-budgeted, over-promised, and they over-promised because they were told that they would, the people in the FGC that were on board were all the ones that were like, yeah, this is going to be a fucking huge thing. They were speaking about it financially. Financially, they would say, well, is this going to make us money? And of course, the FGC has a thing about pushing this narrative. Video X Games, Tequila. But, the FGC had this, especially at that time, that we're up and coming esports, money's going to be pouring in. So the investor for it expected X amount of people to be coming, and that, the stream would be huge. But there was people within the scene who have been dicks to people, like, let's say, Triforce, for example. In the past, well, now Triforce wasn't hooking you up. Now, they all, make no mistake, they all wanted to come. They all wanted to come and participate in VXG, because Rolando from VXG was flying people down. Putting you up in the rooms, treating you like fucking royalty there. The money for the prizes was way, way, way overestimated for what it should be versus the turnout of people that came. And that was the thing. It wasn't Rolando. It was the investor who, once the investor realized how shitty support America is when it comes to FGC events that top people in the FGC couldn't control, he pulled his money out. It's even too much for now. And it's funny because people will jab at Rolando about that. I witnessed it firsthand, because when the investor pulled out, Rolando was like put in a real predicament, and he was trying to square people away. He squared them away at his own pocket with cash advances on his own credit card. Basically, put his whole fucking financial turmoil on the line for a bunch of fucking what I consider fucking snobby players who didn't have the. So basically, a lot of the players that did win were the ones that were attacking. They were also the ones that got flown down there for free. They were also the ones that were given a free vacation. And it wasn't good enough to say, hey there, Miss Valentine, my queen. It wasn't good enough for them to get all that for free. You know, and what made it worse was the fact that Rolando basically put himself in the poorhouse to try and square these people away. And what killed me, thank you for the host, Lady Valentine, my queen. But what made it worse was when things started to settle and he was still trying to pay people out, I was making deals for him. You know, because he said he don't have all the money. He's trying to do the best he can. And what wound up happening was he had asked me to go to, and I won't mention names of the players, but quite a few players, and say, look, I can get you half the money you're owed, plus you get 2 free trips anytime you want to come down to VXG. Do you know they did not take the deal? And because Lady Valentine, we're talking about VXG, which was an event down in St. Martin years ago. Instead of taking the money, half the money, and 2 free trips, they said, no, we're going to talk to lawyers and sue the shit out of them. I said, all right, good luck. I got you a deal. I would have gotten you half the money, which now you're getting nothing, and 2 free trips down to VXG. Or you could go to court, which, by the way, you're an American citizen, so you need to get a lawyer in St. Martin, because that's where the court's going to be. And you need to get, you know, now I'm not saying St. Martin's corrupt. You need to get a lawyer that's willing to sue basically the government. You know, my accent, you know, to basically sue the government. You ain't gonna get a lawyer in St. Martin that's gonna take a case like that for pennies, by the way. You know, no, lawyers never got involved in it because, you know, they all went to go to our fearless FGC lawyer, and even he was kind of like, yeah, I can't practice law down there. You know, well, St. Martin, technically the Netherlands put it on because they okayed it. But St. Martin, the government is what put that on because the Department of Tourism is a part of the government. Unlike America where it's, you know, whatever. You know, but I'm tired of MK11. I'm going to crawl back to Injustice and maybe Soul Calibur on the side. You know, I ain't going to lie. MK11, and I was talking to like Rios and Tom Brady about it. I think MKX to me is hands down the worst MK game ever. I mean, it's one step better than Mortal Kombat Special Forces. But MK11, it's got to be a close second place for worst game. It's got it really. And now, don't get me wrong. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. I think it plays a lot better than MKX did. I think it's flawed with putting too much content shoved down the fucking throat. The crypto is very glitchy at times. That 50 head kill fucking shit was kind of annoying as all hell. You know, I look at games, I don't look at fighting games as just the esports and the competitive. Like, when I look at games in general, I look at them as overall packages. You know, how is the gameplay? How is the content that's in the game? You know, what's the DLC? How hard is it for the average gamer? All of us, you know, and I mean everybody in the chat, you know, everybody will say, oh, I'm a casual. You're not. You're not a casual. You're part of what's called the FGC, which means we're the extreme gamers when it comes to fighting games. And even an extreme gamer couldn't vibe with a lot of the stuff. Yes, you're correct, Joker. That tower grind. You know, when you were doing the 50 heads to get, you know, before the glitch, where they had the glitch where people did it like in the first week and then they patched it, I wasn't fortunate enough. The way I did it was I turned around, I put the game in, I set it up with remote play to my PC, and then set a macros on my keyboard to constantly hit the X button. Because even if you set the AI to continually play, in between every match, you still had to hit X. You know, and when you had to hit X, it was like you had to stop, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck to do. And eventually I just set up the macro to hit X on my keyboard over and over and over. But you know, I just thought that was overdone. I think the end of the crypt was beyond lackluster. Like, you get into the throne room and you're like, eh. Well, no, Lady Valentine, if you set up a macros on your keyboard, I had my keyboard constantly hitting X, so when I walked away, it'd be hitting X the whole time, and I set the AI up. So I came home, you know, the first night I came home, I wound up having, you know, 10 of the heads, and then the next day I got the other 10, and I just kept doing that until eventually I got all the heads. But on a game development side, that's not why I play a game. Like, the count, like, I would say 5 heads per person would have been sufficient. Oh yeah, on the console it was horrendous. Even the Towers of Time, which again, in my opinion, Towers of Time could have basically been a game onto itself. You know, it could have definitely been a game onto itself, but it kind of got lost because, you know, people were using the Towers of Time to find, you know, gear and clothing and stuff like that. But, you know, once you get that gear or clothing, like, one of the things that annoyed the hell out of me is, you know, I main Baraka. Well, what the fuck do I need fucking Aaron Black's cock ring as a fucking bonus thing when I don't use Aaron Black? You know, or why do I need fucking, you know, nipple rings for that are for Katana, and all of a sudden I'm getting them for Baraka? Now, if I could put them on there, I'd fucking, you know, I'd hook them up with some fucking Katana nipple rings and cock rings and all that other stuff. You know, but, you know, it was like, it just got so monotonous. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever equipped Baraka. I seen some of these fucking weirdos on the FGC making, or online, making some weird ass fucking Barakas with nipple rings and pink fucking tattoos, and I'm going, that's not Baraka. I used the straight up MK2 fucking original costume. I don't think I've ever equipped anything. You know, the gauntlet had its time, yes, but you do it once, exactly, and it's done. You know, online, man, do we know who started teabagging in the NRS scene? Was it Sonic Fox? Like, the teabagging thing was the most annoying thing that I've ever seen. You know, and it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I've gotten called, you know, a spammer. I've gotten called everything with Baraka. When did it actually, NSFF popularized it in MKX? Okay, so, you know, it was, I don't, like I said, teabagging never happened in MK9. You know, I don't remember teabagging in Injustice. You know, I really don't remember that. And it's like, these guys that teabag, like, man, Sonic is lucky because he never teabagged me. But man, if you teabagged me like that and I heard in the background, I'd probably meet him in the city somewhere and we'd have a nice talk. Teabagging is not cool. I'm not a sore winner, but I am a sore loser. Like, me winning, I'll never rub it in your face. Like, I look at it and I go, what, why do you gotta be a sore winner about it? Yeah, but you know what? It don't matter. Teabagging still, it's very poor sportsmanship. You know what, Nitty Jointer? That's definitely up for debate, and it's very dependent on the game of choice and where you were located when this throwing happened. Yes, in New York, throwing was definitely worse than teabagging. Aaron's cock ring is exactly, he's definitely got one. But overall for the MK game, it just doesn't keep me sitting there. Like, every version of Mortal Kombat before MKX, I don't care. Like, I don't use chick characters in games just because of preference. And it didn't matter. I would still play through the tower to get the endings of everybody. I'll be honest, I did Aaron Black and his cock ring, Baraka, and Kung Lao, I think. And that's it. For the whole roster. I didn't bother going through the tower. And it was sad, and it was the same thing for MKX as well. It just didn't get me to sit in my seat. And then I would talk to like some of the fucking competitive players. Oh, well, I've never done that either. And I'm going, so why put it in there? Just take it out. Now I know, there's people that are upset with the Sindel being bad now and the LGBT connection for Molina, but it's their story. They can change it to whatever the fuck they want. Absolutely, Deadly Raven. You would get fucked up for throwing. I used to go down to New Orleans. Where the fuck was that? It was an arcade near the French Quarter. Next to some fucking po' boy fucking shop. Every time I would go down there for like a AMOA show or arcade shows that they used to hold down there, I would always go to an arcade somewhere over there. And yeah, I can remember guys being pretty adamant about not throwing. But it's like, going back to MK, I think it's Pennyland. James, I definitely have a drink with Jimmy and listen to some stories. I would do the same. Next time, once America opens up, you gotta come. Ghost to Gutex page. Yo, James, are you up to date on the Star Wars theory? Get shit on by Star Wars exec Pablo. What you doing? That one I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm up to date on all my Star Wars lore and things that are going on, whether it's The Mandalorian and all that. So what? The shitting on the Star Wars exec Pablo Hadar, what happened? Oh, the bars here are good. I don't know. I think the UK bars are probably better, to be honest. Yeah, that definitely rings a bell, and it's funny because you know what? I had gone down there, and during that show, John Turk, myself, and Bret Hart were basically hanging. That was kind of cool. Those are like some of the cool memories. Me and Bret Hart drank, and we drank till, because you guys don't close. We drank till like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning at the bars. And then, in the afternoon, we wound up fucking drunkly stumbling in there. Yes, Bret Hart. I hung out with Bret Hart. But John Turk was a good dude, so he didn't fuck around or nothing. We were like the Hitman Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart. Yes, we wound up going out and getting fucked up together. I've gotten fucked up with a lot of wrestlers. You got to remember, I did all the wrestling games in the 90s, so whether it was filming with them, a lot of them would come and ask me to take them out and show me a good time here on Long Island. I'm like, all right, let's go get fucked up. But some of them, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, they were on a different tangent, But Bret was mad cool. And let me tell you something. Again, back then I was super nerd, but he. Nah, you know what? At that time, I don't know if did I meet young Tom Brady at that time? Yes, I had met him at that time. But he was still high school Tom Brady. I've had I got fucked up with the Smoking Guns, which was Billy and Bart, which I guess the guy became Mr. Ass after a while. Drank with The Undertaker, drank with Tugboat and Typhoon, or Tugboat, Typhoon, and Earthquake, whichever was. They were all a couple of. Who else? What other good shit did I do? And it was funny because I could take it off the wall. Hold on, let me see. Here's a funny story. All right. So when I wrote this book back in, I think it was around 97, I wound up doing it with two other authors. And one of the authors was this guy by the name of Matt Taylor. Yeah, it kind of sucked, Ghost of Gutex about The Undertaker, but he's fucking old. I'll get to that in a minute, Deadly Rave. So we do the book deal. For you old school heads. Die Hard Game Fan was probably the best gaming magazine in the 90s as far as quality. So Matt Taylor was one of the writers for Game Fan magazine. And then another player that a lot of you Street Fighter guys will know, Graham Wolf, was also getting into Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat as well. So all three of us decided to do a book, a strategy guide. And we did the guide all by ourselves. Everything got laid out. We put it all together. We didn't have a publisher at the time. So Matt approached Game Fan, who had just gotten purchased. Dave Halverson was the original owner of Game Fan magazine. But this gentleman from New York, ironically, named David Bergstein, and if you Google David Bergstein arrested, you'll see who he is. This David Bergstein goes and buys Game Fan magazine. So he agrees to let us do the book deal. Says, yeah, I'm gonna print it. And then he says, well, what do you guys want? Exactly, John. See, you already got him. So, Matt Taylor was doing our negotiation. Yes, like Bernstein Bears, the best boy, the link that Nitty just put up there. So, Matt was being stupid. Like, Nat was like, oh, 80% for us, 20% for you. And I would tell Matt, like, are you an idiot? It's going to be reversed. Like, we'll get 30 at best, split 10% each of us, and he'll take 70. He's putting up all the money. Oh no, we're going to get. I said, no. So anyway, Bergstein settles with him, and we all getting, I think, 30% on everything. So, a couple of weeks go by, I'm not getting any checks. Sign the contract. You know what's funny? Check this out. I think, you know what? I'm going to crack into something. For those who do follow me on Twitter, this morning, today I tweeted out, because I find things in my house. So this is a VHS tape that I had found, and I asked Vi if it's like rare or something, and apparently it's rare. I actually opened it up, and of course I ripped it a little bit, but it's a VHS tape that I've never watched about how to play Street Fighter fucking Special Championship Edition. But I think I have the contract still to this day. I think. It's been so long since I fucking... Like I said, I look at things sometimes and I just go, what's this? What's this? Oh, shit, I forgot about that. So, let's see. It's kind of funny because I'm not much of a hoarder, but I like to save all my shit. Or at least try. I even save love letters from my exes. Sounds like... Yes, I have one of the Tomo tapes. That's exactly what it is, apparently. Let's see what this... Where are we? Let me see what I got in this little fucking pile first. So, over the years, let's see how this comes in. This is like me, back at Acclaim, fucking being a stud, chilling out with girls. Me being the wannabe nerd stud back in the 90s. Of course, the show stopped all this cool stuff. Here's me drunk with two fucking bald things. I don't know what the hell they are. Hey, KI girls. Eidos. Here's me with Wayne Gretzky. Here's me with Robin Shue. Here's my nerdness back in like 1992. So anyway, let me go back to what I was doing with the... Oh, I'm absolutely a hoe. I'll never deny being a hoe. Alright, let's see. Do I have it? I believe I have the contract. Ooh, I got letters from Jersey Court. Ooh, that's ugly. We don't like that one. Who is this? This is... Almost Amateur movie. Jenny Moore. This was for a movie I did, non-porn related, signature from a chick that I was, Bridget the Midget. Here's a royalty statement, a last royalty statement for one of the books I did. They sent me a check with $0. Yeah, see? I actually still have the contract from GameFan. Let me see what the actual contract is. Let me see that. I just fucking went past the page, I think. 28 days, February. Yeah, so here you go. Here's the contract from 1995. And I was to receive 1.5% on all sales for the book. And of course, that added up pretty good when you did the overall sales, but it didn't turn out as well as I thought, because apparently what had happened, there was one more thing I wanted to show before I go back to this story. I'm fucking rambling and all over the place. So yeah, so, you know, again, over the years, because I was doing all the Acclaim stuff, you know, Jerry Lawler and fucking Deborah. I just got stuff scattered about, man. Shit's just all over the place. So anyway, going back to the story. So now, this kid Matt Taylor, who apparently, from what I'm hearing, you know, Alex Vi and Mike Watson had also had run-ins with this guy, because I don't know if you people remember Versus Books, but after he did that, after he worked with GameFan, he went and started Versus Books. You know. So I turn around and I get a call from Matt Taylor one day. And he says to me, Jimmy, I got bad news. He goes, I got fired from GameFan magazine. And I go, whoa, what happened? And he goes, that's not the bad news. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. He goes, we're not getting paid. And I go, whoa, now I care. What do you mean we ain't getting paid? Well, in the contract it stated that you couldn't work for any competitor of GameFan magazine. Well, Matt Taylor had started doing a Street Fighter book with their competitor as an alias. And of course, this David Bergstein guy found out. So he said, I'm not paying any of you for it. Let me tell you something. You want to talk about thug and gangster and all that other stuff? So, and again, keep in mind, this is back in 1995. So technology wasn't, you know, call up or go to a website and dig up people's backgrounds. So the first thing I do is I say, let me see who the fuck this David Bergstein guy is. And I find out he grew up in New York, lived in Brooklyn, comes from a Hasidic Jewish family. I find out where his mother and father live. And then I fly out to LA, drive to Beverly Hills, go to his office, and his secretary gave me one of those, he's busy now. I do like in the movie, I kick the door in, and he's sitting at a desk like he's Shao Kahn. I remember this vividly like it was yesterday. And I'm fucking livid. I'm like, yo, I want my motherfucking money. And his desk was made out of cast iron, and it had skulls at the end of the desk, and it was like, it looked like something out of Geese Howard, sitting at his desk. And I go, listen, you don't know who the fuck I am, but I know who you are. And I know where your fucking family lives in fucking Brooklyn. And I'll tell you right now, your father and your mother will get fucked up if I don't get my money. He almost shit a brick. Told his secretary, write him a check. Paid me a check for like 30 G's. And he says, this is it though, just this one time. I can't keep doing stuff like this. I said, listen, you pay me 30 G's, we're cool. So he writes me the check for 30 G's. I said, listen, I'm not leaving until this, because you got to remember back in the 90s, you ain't going to a check cashing place to cash $30,000. You had to deposit it, which took 3 days before it cleared. So I told him, I said, I'll be here for 3 days. When this check clears, we're even, Steven. We never have to talk again. He says to me, no. I got to be honest with you. He goes, I like the way you do things. I said, what? I I just told you I was going to fuck your mother and father up. Oh, well, you're a real go-getter. I said, no, I want what's mine. Oh, well, maybe we can work in the future. I'm like, nah. The money clears. I dip. I sign your paperwork. We're all good. And that's what wound up happening. And the guy, Matt, and unfortunately, Graham Wolf never got paid, which sucked. And it was funny because, Alex Vi had made a post the other day, and Mike Watson also chimed in about it, and he talked about his experience with Versus books where they didn't get paid. So, one of the reason I'm bringing these kind of old school stories up is when people act like the shit that's going on in the FGC is new. It's not new. It's what it is there are deceitful people within this scene, like that David Bergstein guy was. Eventually Game Fan magazine went broke, print media went to shit. I saw the writing on the wall. The last book I did was for a game Tai-Fu for PlayStation 1 and Erguys. And after that I said print media is done. And you know what, Best Boy, it's funny because I'm not muscle, but I'm like, yo, listen, I tell everybody the same thing. You're better off just disappearing. It don't matter if you rob me and take thousands of dollars or if you take 1 penny. I will fuck you up for 1 penny. Not because of the money, but the principle that you would take from me. And that's the part of me that is, and it's not because I grew up on the streets. It's because I grew up without a lot of shit. So, a lot of the people out there, and again, it sounds like, I don't want to say racist because it's not based on race, but economical. Like, I vibe more with people that grow up in the hood that do without than I do with people that grew up with the silver spoon in the mouth. Because, man, I remember as a kid opening up my refrigerator and there being nothing but like fucking 2 drops of fucking milk and a loaf of bread, and that was it. And one of my peeves nowadays as I've gotten older, and it's ever since I moved out on my own in my late teens, was my refrigerator has to be full all the time. All the time. I don't give a shit if it's full of eggs, but it's got to be full. For a while there, when I was really into the whole beer thing, I would have beers. You come to my house, whatever beer you drank, it was in my refrigerator. And it was more of a, when you do without, and now that you can get, you don't ever want to let somebody take that. And I never will. But you know, it's like, man, you take from me like that, there's no stopping me. What's up, bro? You know, there's no stopping me at that point. You know, at that point, I'm a very vindictive motherfucker. You know, I had seen something. I won't mention names of the people. You know, and I had told them, you know, somebody had did something to him, and I had said to him, I said, you know, if somebody like that did something like that to me back in the day, I had two butch girls that were in love with me. One of the girls was a butch girl, but she wasn't butch because she was big, because she was a short girl. But like, I fought her. Like, and I was always told never to hit a girl, so I couldn't hit her. But she hit like a dude. And, you know, as the years gone on, you know, we stayed friends. You know, our families were always close. But she had a crush on me. So if there was a girl that messed with me, I would just be like, yo, Linda, do me a favor, fuck this girl up. And she wouldn't even question it. I watched her jump through a drive-through window and pummel a girl in the car that pulled up that fucked with me. You know, when I had gotten divorced, and we had actually I wound up going to her mother's wake, and she turned around, and, you know, when we were talking and everything, oh, how you doing, da, 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 da. I said, yeah, well, I'm getting divorced, yada, yada, yada. She's like, oh, you want me to fuck her up? And this is like 25, 30 years later, and she's still like, I'll fuck her up for you if you want. I'm like, nah, it's good. I'm like, take care of your 9 kids. Don't worry about me. You know, but, you know, it was different back then. You know, attitudes were different in the FGC. The way people treated each other was different. But at the same time, it was the same. You know, I listened to people in the scene that are in positions of quote unquote power, and they promised the world. Ken Lobb from KI, you know, promised me a job. You know, I had met him, he heard about me, and, you know, we had mutual friends that were all together. Oh yeah, I'll get you a job at Treehouse. And I never heard from him again. You know, when KI came back out, hey Ken, it was like he didn't know who the fuck I was. You know, and I don't have nothing against them, but that's how this scene is. You know, you look at people, you look at commentators. You know, one of the things I've always liked to do is put commentators on. You know, so it was like, you know, there was a guy in the NRS community, Firewall. I tried to help push him. Mr. Aquaman, before he became what he is now, you know, pushed for him. And then Firewall, not so much. He's got kids and all that, but like somebody like Aquaman, when I exposed the Honeybee punching Sonic Fox, you know, he went into this whole you're a cashed out type shit. He blocked me. Like, dude, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You fucked over that Echo dude with Stream Me, you know, and then screwed him over. You know, if anybody's fucked up, it would wind up being you. You know, block me, I don't give a shit, but now you were kissing my ass for years. You know, and then what was even funnier was Honeybee, you know, blocked me, got my account banned. You know, a lot of the guys that are part of that Pig of the Hut crew, you know, would tell people, oh, he threatened to beat him up. No, I didn't. I didn't tell people to beat the kid up. I mean, like, Honeybee's like a cupcake. You know, but it was the fact that they shoved it under the rug and tried to hide whatever happened. Oh yeah, B blocked me for years. But meanwhile, you know, and again, irony. Let me see if I could find it, because it's been a while. I ain't been on this site in a long time. I'm going to actually log into Test Your Might. If I even still here, I don't know. Let's see. See if I remember my password. It's got to be what I usually use. Oh shit, look at that. It actually worked. Alright, so let me do a search in my messages. Show all. So, how many pages of messages do I have? I actually have messages. I only got 3 pages of messages, so I'm alright. Size. I think I still have my first message I ever fucking posted. I got messages from 2012 still on this website. Yeah, Firewall, no. Firewall never blocked me. Firewall's good people. I just used him as an example as somebody that I tried to turn on to... You know, and it's funny because I look at like GGA Jeremiah hit me up back in like 2013. Man, how are you ever going to top a show from last night by having a show on the whole scene being clean? You know, so going to, let me go back a little bit. Let's see where it is. Greetings, kind sir. Who's this? Oh, Crimson Shadow. Another one that I don't trust. To allow special allowing justice release party. If you're serious, any decides. There was one that I saw that was kind of funny. So let's see where it is. Ecuador. VSM. Dude, I remember when people used to be like, when I was doing the OBS sponsor, which basically meant you were part of Team JOB, that basically you were just on the team. I had like 200 OBS members. It was basically mimicking Triforce at the time, to be honest. La Resistance. Yeah. Game of Blake. A project for MKX. Even Nitty's in this one. This is when Nitty was actually... Dark Natives got married, popped out some kids, so he's doing the kid thing. What is this? Thank you. Oh, fucking... I think that was when I got banned. It's got to be somewhere. Let's see. Crimson Shadow again. Ugh. OBS. A lot of fucking people joined OBS. Take a chance, shock. If you are serious. It's funny. I mean, there's a lot of good times. There was the time that I had Leah Montalongo, who played Sindel, help a player that was overweight. You know, I tried to do as much as I could to keep people entertained, but at the same time, let them know that the real world don't give a shit about games, that none of it really matters, that you're going to come to a point in your life where you're going to go, damn, I wasted too much time with this fucking game shit. Yeah, come on, where is it? Load. Oh, come on, what the fuck? Why is it not loading? I got no fucking signal or some shit like that. Well, basically, in a nutshell, it was when Canada was kind of not on the map for Mortal Kombat. You know, I had done an Injustice event. And that's not it. It's got to be in the sec. I only got 3 pages of this shit, so it shouldn't be that much. I did an Injustice event. I believe Honeybee won, and I paid out. It was like, I don't know, maybe $1,500, $1,000 or some shit like that for what was his name? Toriyukin. for Toriyukin. You know, for Russell. Russell is the TO. He could do too up there. Come on, what the fuck? Why can't this just fucking load already? Let me go to Wi-Fi. They might have banned me. They heard I was coming on and they banned me. So I can't look up my old messages. That's weird. So yeah, so needless to say, it was a big message from Honey B, you know, young Honey B. Not that he looks any different now, but you know, praising me for trying to help prop up the Toronto scene, working with a guy K Frog for all you MK guys, Tim, up there promoting shit, and it was just like it changed. When it changed was when Stephanie and Pig of the Hut started to take leadership roles of the MK scene. It basically had what the fuck? All right, there's that. Had taken leadership roles with the scene and started pushing people as if they were stocks, and you know, again, it was like, you know, how many Evo medals have you gotten? And it was just it became a very, listen, I got 18 book deals that I've done over the years. I'll take every book deal over any Evo medal, because you know what? Whatever you made for your Evo medal prize, I'm a published author and I made 30 grand or more per book. So I made better than Evo Potts, you know. And James, I just hit 35 and not married, no kids. What advice or words of wisdom can you impart on me? You know what? There's a couple of players that I've spoken to in the scene. You know, my marriage went to shit. You know, and it was both of our faults. You know, she wanted to pop out babies. I clearly was too immature. But, you know, I've talked to a lot of players in the scene that are married with kids and they're going through the problems. And a lot of these guys were like thinking, I'm just going to throw in the towel. You should never throw in the towel on it. You know, always try to make it work. What happened? Wait, did fucking Test Your Might just get hacked or something? It just went down? Damn, what are they going to say? I DDoS'd them? That's why I think it went down. Let me fucking go to another page a second. Hold on. Let me see something. That's so weird that the first time I tried to go to fucking... where is it? Yeah, that's right. I can actually log into this fucking... the website from my fucking PC. That's how much I'm so to the phone now. Versus... I totally forgot about that. Uh-oh. Wrong password? Yeah. Maybe it is down. You know, Gutex Pass, 35, not married, no kids. What do you want? You know, I mean, that's really the best word of opinion I can give you. Already want to please click back. Oh, okay. Is what do you actually want? You know, do you want to get married? Do you want to be single? I'm single at 31. Never gonna get married. Marriage is work. Make no mistakes about that. You know, Cut West, you're right. You know, some people, you know, the girl that I used to date when I was still making video games, you know, she was another one that wanted to pop out the babies and do all that, and I was too young and immature. I didn't want that life, you know, and wow, this is kind of annoying me right now. Let me fucking. I don't know why I haven't logged into this account. It's gonna be like, yo, who the hell is James MK? This password don't work. This don't work. This is like the first time I logged into this fucking thing in a hell of a long time. Well, I'm enjoying having some money, being single, but I do worry that I'm getting too old. You will get to that point, you know, and at that point you need to figure out what the fuck you want. Nobody can tell you. It says you're already logged in, but I'm not home. Yeah, it looks like it's down for me. It shows how good this fucking site is still. But, you know, it's sad for me to see, because a lot of people love to lump me into, and I joke around with a couple of people that are in the LGBT side of the community, you know, because I've gotten labeled homophobic, transphobic, this and that from people time to time. And I tell people all the time, do you even know my sexuality? You know, I said, you just assume because I got a big mouth that I must be straight. I said, now, I'm not going to sit here and deny it, but don't stereotype and all of a sudden think like just because I'm a loudmouth that I must be. You know, and it's funny because, you know, I've joked around, but I would never do it because it's kind of scumbagish, and it's definitely an FGC thing, is to like come out one day and be like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, the whole time I've been gay. You know, and all of a sudden, all those people that hate me, you know, would probably start to embrace me like, oh, you're strong, you're this and that, and it's like, that's the hypocritical side of the FGC. You know, like I said, Honeybee was all stroking my ego. Wow, thanks for supporting the scene, yada, yada, yada. And then the minute I come at him, you know, the On Blast show is a great thing until you become the subject of being put on blast. But I've said it from the beginning, I can't turn around and play favorites, or the show serves no purpose. I can't turn around. I put Tom Brady on blast. I put my co-hosts. You know, Chris Bond was a co-host for a while. I put him on blast. You know, and it's like, it sucks for me because, you know, I'm like, you know, but at the end of the day, you gotta, you know, if I'm gonna push a narrative that it's the people's show, it's gotta be the people's show. You know, now you get people, you know, like I said, with the code of conduct crap, out there trying to say we're going to push a code of conduct. You can't force a code of conduct on anybody, let alone a TO. So, you know, let's make an example. You know, Cut West is friends with Alex Jabari. He signs up for CEO, but he is accused of something and gets cancel cultured from the FGC. But you're guaranteed to go to CEO, but now you're not allowed to go. And if Alex doesn't agree, with these people, this so-called committee, then what's stopping him from saying, yeah, you can come to my event? And if he says, well, because they said you can't, are they going to compensate him for the money lost because he didn't believe it? You know, is this code of conduct group going to be some kind of overseeing body? And who gets to be it? Like I said, when PL had turned me on to the Discord, and I was watching, and like the guy, after a couple of days of reading it, all of a sudden I found myself kicked out of the Discord. So I hit up this guy, Bodied, who started the Discord, and I said to him, what the fuck, well, people see your tweets and this and that and this and that. And I said, okay. He says, well, you're not contributing. I said, I'm watching. I want to see where it's going. And inside the group, it was a lot of, well, we need to make sure that the TOs make safe spaces, and we need to make sure that there's quiet rooms that they afford people. And I'm going, that's not their responsibility. Don't go to an event if you think anything outside of your house is a fucking safe space. And it's not even about the liberal Twitter, and it's more, listen, you're entitled to a safe space, but it's called your fucking bedroom. You don't get to pick and choose what becomes your... The world is not your safe space. Outside your house, the world is fucking scummy. And like I said earlier, it was scummy back in the day when, young Alex Vise and Mike Watsons and myself were running around it. And it's scummy today. It's the same scumbag moves. False promises to people. Lying and cheating to get to a place that you think you're going to go, that when you get there you realize there ain't nothing there. We just added to it now with the esports. So now we got, esports money, and the money, some better money that's there. And like I said, I'll take book deals, my 90s of doing book deals over any medals for any events, because I got paid for it. I got, games that I worked on. My other new, like I said, my framing thing is my new hobby. My framing thing is my new hobby. Games that I've worked on. So I'm starting, this is my other new thing. So I'll put my name in the credits over here. I'll get the brass plates. So I'm going to start doing all that. My pride possession, my pride possession is my pride. I've never sacrificed my beliefs for somebody else's. Now, straight, gay, bi, whatever you are, I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, the brutal democracy shit really exposed how desperate the FGC is. You know what? They're all so desperate for acceptance. Like, listen, I know this is your hobby. I know this, when somebody turns around and says, fighting games are stupid on Twitter, the mob mentality attacks that person so fucking viciously. Why can't you just say, hey, that's his opinion? Instead, you guys go into this whole fucking, Wolverine berserker rage, screaming and cursing that this fucking person is a fucking scumbag. And it's like, just let him be. So everyone would hope and desire the FGC to go mainstream. It's been like 7 years since those times. I've seen Street Fighter on ESPN. There's some esport league. But is this what we wanted? Was this mission accomplished? You know what? It can't get better. No. Imagine trying to escape IRL shit to playing video games just to see it just as toxic. And that's the truth. They're trying, like... I've told people over the years, now that I'm a builder, a construction guy, as if people in the FGC have tried to make that out to be a bad thing. Rule 101 of building a house. You cannot build a house on a crooked, broken, destructed foundation. And if you build the house, yes, you could build it up, but it will come back down a lot faster. And the fact that people have gotten themselves so embedded in this scene to be money, They haven't taken the time to know the history, the true history. You see videos on YouTube of guys talking about, back in my day, but reality was it was built on a shitty foundation. Evo was grassroots, become corporate. It's a great event now, but it's still grassroots. And yes, it's become very petty. I see guys on, especially the NRS scene, where they love to attack me. I love my boy Foxy. He's a great dude. But, he's one of those guys that if I turn around sometimes and I say, look, it's 9 o'clock at night, he'll come to argue with me just to say, no, it's 9 o'clock in the evening. Because I know he is very passionate, and I love the fact that he's passionate. But it's like, I've been through it all. I've seen every avenue of game development to being quote unquote media with the Gamergate shit. I've been through that. I've been in meetings when I worked at Acclaim where, magazines like EGM or GamePro gave one of our shitty games a shitty review. And we said, yeah, but we're going to have to pull out our 6 pages of advertisement now. And all of a sudden, the review got revised, and we went from 1.1s to fucking 7.5s. It's a scummy business. And it's like they don't want to accept that, like, the game is the same. The faces that are the scumbags are all that change. Why? Because eventually, like David Bergstein, the scumbags get removed. The Mr. Wizards are gone. But it's very telling. When I see players that love to they'll attack me like players I never talk to. All of a sudden, randomly, will just fucking attack me because one of my opinions don't follow suit to their beliefs. But I don't know. At this point, I'm just gonna watch. Like I said, it's one of those things where you just kind of gotta go, what the fuck? I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to, let's try this. While I talk, let's see if I can multitask. I'm not really good at multitasking. I'm going to try a game. But I got to try a game that I can actually play, because... Let's see. I don't know what the hell I can play. Let's see. What game should I put in? Battletoads? No, that's too fucking... That's too long. Battletoads is one of those too long games. Let's try MK1. Let's see if I still can fucking talk at the same time. Let me lower the volume on it because it's fucking gonna be loud as fuck. I don't have my typical stick, so I gotta be part of the pad club, so I don't know how good this is gonna work out. I'm not a pad player. But I mean, at this point, it's like the FGC really needs to totally get burnt down. Look at this scumbag tech. Fuck that. Scumbag tech right there. Let's go for the world record. How many double flawlesses can I get in a match? I'll get the Twin Galaxy record. Fuck you. There goes my double flawless. My favorite character to play against is fucking... Yeah, yes, it would. Gutex pass. It would float because I would do it differently. When you play a person, it doesn't work as well. There's your throw, by the way. There's your throws. See, now let's see if I could do this in the corner. Let's see. Ah. It needs to be brought back to its roots. This Mortal Kombat, I don't care with all the graphics now. This in fucking in HD would be fucking on point. Man, people said there's no combos in this game. I'm like, dude, what game are you playing? It's combos. I like fighting Kano. Kano's the best fucking... It depends on how you want to break it down, because Sonya had an infinite. Come on, Kane, I'll do it. Ah, keep fucking it up. It's not easy to play on pad for a fucking stick guy. All right, Lady Valentine, you have a lovely nap. I'll be streaming more, and I'll be jumping into your stream. I saw you streaming. I'm just silent. Well, I know what's not for 2020, and that's fucking Wonder Woman. That movie fucking really sucked. You know, one of my biggest peeves is continuity in a movie, and the fact that the mall and the arcade had video games from 1987 and 1986, when the arcade's clearly supposed to be 1984, kind of pissed me off right off the bat. I don't know. I like I said, I still like The Walking Dead. You know, as far as movies go, I don't know what I. Wow, air throws me. No, actually, that's probably going to be the next thing I watch. I heard it was actually pretty good. Really, Raiden? Really? Nah, Soul is probably the next thing I watch. Yeah, it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't make sense overall. You know what? I'm gonna play something I haven't played in a long time. Let me get out of this. This is considered the first fighting game ever. This is really, I always say Karate Champ. I like the finale. I definitely like the finale. Is that too loud? Damn, I just fucked him up. Man. Yeah, I definitely like Mando. I like the direction it's going. I mean, DC needs to hire Jon Favreau to start doing some fucking DC movies because they just suck. Man, I punched him in the dick. Yes, I do have Sega's Wrestle War. I don't remember the moves. I remember Jason Voorhees in it though. But I probably won't. I wouldn't make it past because that was a quarter crunching game. Shit, not looking good. Fuck, I'm out. I gotta see if I think I have Wrestle War. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if I'll make it. I don't even know if I can make it to Jason Voorhees, to be honest.
Come on. One, two, three.
That wasn't bad, Ghost. The Gutex pass for a first time.
I can't wait to see you go.
I can't wait to see you go down.
Welcome to Wrestle War. One, two, three.
I don't know, Ghost. The Gutex pass. I might actually have something here, but here we go. The heel kick of death.
Welcome to Wrestle War.
Ah, here we go. It's already fucked.
Right now.
Woo! I got past him. Got the mask.
I'm gonna kick you around the ring and blow your brains out.
Blow my brains out. What the fuck's he bringing a gun to the wrestling match? Uh-oh. Fuck. I'm getting ringed out.
You coward.
Nope, made it, yeah.
Darn.
Shit. Fuck. I'm getting fucked up. I'm done. I'm done.
One, two,
I mean, I went 3 matches before, so let's see if I can put some credits
For
in.
your glory. Welcome to Wrestle War.
I need my glory. Really?
You coward.
I gotta get my super on him. Really? Really?
1, 2, 3.
I'm getting bodied. I beat Jason though.
Go for your glory.
Alright, I gotta beat the Road Warrior.
To Wrestle War.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Shit, he's gonna use the outside to his advantage again. I'm gonna get clothesline. Oh. Shit. I fucked up. I had him. I had him.
1, 2.
I ran out of time.
One, two. One, two, three.
Woo! Damn, I can't remember. I know how to. I gotta remember how to do his fucking pile driver. Now we got the special ed fucking wrestler. Fuck.
1, 2, 3.
How do you know when you have your... You get his energy bar down low, it's automatic.
Go for your glory. Welcome to Wrestle War. Oh.
Alright, he's gonna jump off the rope.
You coward. You coward.
Shit.
One, two, three.
PS4 pad right now.
Go for your glory. Welcome to Wrestle War.
Fucking juggerhead looking motherfucker beating me. Here we go, jump from the rope. I don't know if I could avoid that. I never knew that.
You coward.
Shit, he's gonna get the weapon. No, he's just gonna come back. Wow, that was a weird fucking put me back in.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm laying on him.
1, 2. Oh.
Shit. Really? That's how I lose?
1, 2, 3.
He's a fucking hard motherfucker. So you might have meant this guy, Ghost.
Go for your glory. Welcome to Wrestle War.
I know Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, Hulk Hogan next to him is hard as hell. Look at that, he just sucked all my life down. You jump from the top rope.
You coward. You coward.
Come on. I gotta try to do a move on him earlier. Oh, I loved this game when it came out. The size of the characters was like, whoa, look how fucking big these guys are. Fucking guy. Off the rope. Gonna suck my energy down. I don't know how to stop that. I don't think you can. Come on, really? Really? Got him. Time ran out. They gave it to me with a timeout. Here comes Hollywood Hogan.
Lo and behold, the true heavyweight champion of the world. Welcome to Wrestle War.
Damn. I know it's too early, but I just want to breathe. I'm gonna get my ass whooped. Oh, did the leg drop? I'm done. Here comes the leg drop.
One, two, three. Go for your glory. Welcome to Wrestle War.
Oh wow, he's already doing backdrops on me? Alright, come on, motherfucker. Damn, fucking Hogan kicking my whooping ass. Leg drop. Ah. Can't mash buttons fast enough, man. I gotta go for my glory. I'm not getting up. Fuck you. Get in, that's it. Shit, leg drop. Take the win.
1, 2, 3. Welcome to Wrestle War.
Man, he kicks hard. Oh, he's fucking me up. He's just known as Enemy. Alright, well, anyway, guys, I gotta wrap this up because my ass has got to get some, like, an hour's sleep before I go to work. Glad you all tuned in. I'm sure I'll be doing some more streams again lately in the next couple of days, just chilling out. And glad you guys all came and chilled. So, you know, just wanted to put my opinions out there on the FGC. And with that said, I'm out. Peace.